Hey, we're Ryan and Mindy Pineda. Welcome to our home.
Come on in.
All right, that was the fakest intro ever, but we're trying to parody Architectural Digest because we love that channel. If you haven't already subscribed to them, go check out their YouTube. If some of you guys are older and you don't know what I'm talking about, then just think of this as MTV Cribs.
So we're gonna give you a tour of our home and show you our favorite parts and why we love it. So this is the entryway. It's super simple. There's really not much going on, but everybody's favorite part of the house is actually right behind this door.
So wait, it's dark right now, but wait.
It's motion censored.
So one of our things was we need a place to put all these stupid shoes. And the only reason they're vacant is because I got rid of a couple and now I'm gonna refill them. I still gotta go to the store, but we got too many shoes. So this is the living room. This is where we spend most of our time. We've actually rearranged this couch multiple ways because the space is just wide open. You can kind of do anything with it. And we've had way bigger coffee tables. Everything has been different, but once we had kids, we just wanted to pretty much make it as open as possible because James likes to crawl around, likes to play with his toys.
Funny story about the coffee table.
It's not funny.
Well, no, I wasn't gonna say that.
Oh.
Is that Ryan did not know how much the coffee table cost for a long time. It was beautiful from Restoration Hardware. And then we had an accident with my son, so we had to get rid of it. I still mourn it. Yeah. And we got these ottomans instead, which he absolutely hates.
Yeah, these ottomans are trash, but it is what it is.
But we miss having a coffee table, but I think once our kids are older, then we'll get another one.
The only plus to the ottoman is that you can just freaking kick it and then the kids can play. So other than that, they're pretty useless.
So if anyone's wondering, the couch is from West Elm, the ottoman is from Article, and then the rug is from, I don't know where the rug is from, but it's somewhere cheap. So these chairs are from CB2, and when I first got them and they were unwrapped, he absolutely hated them. He was like, those are so ugly. But after he sat in them for a while, this is his absolute favorite spot to sit now. He won't sit anywhere else. He freaking loves these chairs. So that's just another thing that he hated on in the beginning and now he loves.
These chairs are still probably the ugliest chairs I've ever seen. They're white, they just are ugly, but you know, I have to admit, I do like to spin in them and they're actually not bad. And it's not bad because you can go look at the pool and all this other stuff. So I'll admit, before I thought they had absolutely no hope of being useful, of looking good or anything, but at least they're comfy. One thing before I show you guys the next area, we bought this house as a new build, but we bought it direct from the builder, so we didn't really get to pick much. This was not here. This was just an open space. You know, you put your own media console type deal here. And I said, you know what? I want to build a really great centerpiece for the home. So we built this fireplace from scratch, and it's probably my favorite part of the house. I love the blue flames. I love how they perfectly cut out for the TV.
Fun fact about this fireplace is that it actually can project heat, but we only use it for looks.
We live in Las Vegas.
So I want to talk about my beautiful tree. Her name is Phoebe. Ryan does not like Phoebe, but we've had her for like a year and a half, probably, almost 2 years.
2 years,
and she's
too long.
Still alive. So I think I'm getting better at my green thumb.
My problem with this is it's just like, it's just here. It's not, there's nothing, I don't get why it's here.
It just brings life and an organic feel to the house. I love it. I love her. So this is our family gallery wall. Just some really good memories of Hawaii when I was pregnant with James. I haven't added Olivia yet, so it looks like we only have one kid. But you know, it's so beautiful, I don't really want to touch it, but I'll probably add some pictures of her.
Probably. As we transition from the living room, we've got our kitchen. And a couple of things about this kitchen. We didn't really get to pick the cabinets because they're already here. She does not like the dark cabinets. I do, so I didn't mind them. We switched the granite countertop to this nice quartz countertop with the really thick edge. Gives it more of a high-end feel. I love the black stainless appliances everywhere, something I always wanted. We ended up putting this backsplash all the way to the ceiling.
Something you actually don't really see is dark handles with dark cabinets, but we wanted to do that to just make it look a little bit more streamlined, you know, not have too many things going on in the kitchen because we really like simple design.
Right, and then she even did that with these pendant lights, just matching the black right here. This does not match, but you know, you can't be perfect.
We are human, so we have our kid station, obviously. It looks a lot more cleaner than it normally is.
Over here, you've got the dining area. And if you recognize these shelves, you should, because they're in a lot of my other videos. These ones are just kind of the extreme version of it. They're very tall. Where do you get these from? People ask me this all the time.
These shelves are from CB2. These are the tallest version. We actually only had 2 shelves at first, but it just didn't fill the space, or it looked really dead and weird, so we just filled the whole wall with them. And actually, normally I have decor on the bottom 2 shelves, but because my son is now a toddler, he pulls everything off, so we just had to put everything on the top shelves.
So these pictures here actually have a lot of meaning to us, and this one is when we were on our 1-year anniversary. So if you've ever heard me talk about, you know, on our 1-year anniversary, I learned that I wanted to flip houses, and that was when, you know, God gave me the vision to do it. It was during this trip. So this means a lot to us. This is back when I was playing baseball, some of the best times of our lives. This picture, I don't even know if it has much meaning to us, but it looks really good.
This is at Golden Knights hockey game. This was my first game, actually. He had gone without me a few times.
And then you've got our wedding. That's a pretty important day.
Why don't you talk about the most important piece in this dining room right behind you that you are obsessed with but not really obsessed with?
This, for anybody, if you know who this artist is, comment below because I'll respect you. I'll probably give you a shout out. This is my favorite piece in the house, and I asked my wife, I said, where can we put this? It needs to be the centerpiece. And she hid it in the corner of the house for like no one to see it. But I still like to eat right here and look at it. And I just love this piece. It's by Patrick Guyton. He's an artist. You actually, if you've been on any kind of cruise ship, you've seen his paintings. And I just remember when I was a kid going on cruises, he'd always have these paintings. And I wasn't buying paintings as a kid. And I'm like, one day I'm gonna own a Guyton. And then I did it.
So this is our dining room. Well, you eat here a lot.
Yeah.
We eat here sometimes for dinner, sometimes on the island. It's also from West Elm. These chairs I love. They're so comfortable. They're from,
I don't know.
I think they're from Wayfair. I'm not really sure. I got them a long time ago.
I am not a big fan of these chairs. As you can see, we have very conflicting things, but why does somebody always win on what's here?
Because happy wife, happy life, right?
It's true. You got to pick your battles, guys. So you can make your opinion known, but you could also know that it doesn't really matter. So this is the other part of the kitchen area that I love. You've got your coffee station and the protein pre-workout station, which is all in here. Then you have her prized possession, which once again, I don't want to know what she paid to do this, but we have our pantry that is very much like the shoe closet. You just walk in, turns on, and then you have this beauty.
So this is my baby. I had an organizing company come in and redo the entire pantry. They did labels on everything. We have the kids treats, coffee, anything you need, and it's all organized and still beautiful to look at. So if you come around this corner, this is our powder bathroom. It's not finished yet, but we did something a little bit bold and crazy and did black textured wallpaper throughout the entire bathroom. What do you think about it? I don't know if he's a fan of it, but he let me do, what I wanted.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm along for the ride. You know how you're along for the ride on my ideas? I'm just along for the ride on design.
My decor?
Yeah. This is the master, which is nice because it's separated from all the other spaces. We're not gonna show you the master because it looks kind of like a war zone. That's the best way to put it, with just everything going on in there. So maybe another day, but not today. So let's go check out the kids' rooms real quick. Actually, we'll take a detour. I forgot. We have this room.
Which is also not completely designed, but functional.
So this was the office, and when we bought the home, the model had a nice office desk right here. It looked really cool. And then eventually this just became this multi-purpose room. So we've got Mindy's station. I don't use this at all. This is where Mindy will edit, create thumbnails, do different things. This is also Mindy's station where she'll play the piano.
Which my husband so kindly gifted me last year.
I think it was your birthday.
Yeah. And I love it. I don't play it as much as I should, but James loves coming in here and playing the piano. So I'm excited to share that love with him. I organized all of these books in color at one point, but now they have just become storage area.
And then this is brand new. So for those of you who have seen the Ryan and Mindy show, which we just started, this is the backdrop. So it's just kind of a little mini studio set. You got the lights, you got just the decor. Now you can see the behind the scenes. This is just a wallpaper that we put behind here. It didn't even finish the whole way. Hey, whatever shows on camera, you know, that's all that really matters.
Well, it's a mural, so it's not a full wallpaper from end to end.
So now we're going into James's room.
This is my favorite room in the entire house. One, because it's completely finished, and two, it's just so bright and light and fun. So this wallpaper my dad installed. Thank you, Dad. It's from Chasing Paper. I just wanted something fun. He's a toddler, but not something that was too crazy with a lot of color. And I think it turned out really good.
Yeah, this is the one room that I actually really like. I like the colors. I like just all the design. I like this picture of this dog. I love everything. It just all looks really good.
The crib is from Target. I love Target. The dresser is from Creighton Kids. All the stuff is from a bunch of different places.
So now we have Olivia's room. And once again, if you couldn't tell already, she likes wallpaper.
I love wallpaper. But this wallpaper was a headache to put on because it's grass cloth and it's textured. My dad and his dad took 4 or 5 days to put up the whole thing. But they did a really good job.
I didn't even know that Olivia was in here.
She's sleeping in here. Don't worry, we don't normally have pillows and stuff. I know you're not supposed to have those, but just for filming, I thought it would be cute. Or the vibe I was going for was a little bit more sophisticated. My son's room is kind of fun and funky, but this room I wanted it to feel like an upscale girl's room.
Yeah, and the daybed's nice.
So this is the kids' bathroom. There's not really much to it. We did get to pick the tile, which I wanted to do something a little fun for them. But we kept it really simple, really clean.
No, there wasn't much to change. I mean, like we said, a lot of this was already pre-picked when we bought it, so we're not gonna just tear this out to redo it. It's fine.
Yeah. So this is your favorite room of the house, right?
This is the one thing I really wanted. When we looked at the model home, there was a pool table here. And I said, this would make the perfect room for a theater. So we ended up creating this theater. We did all the wiring, the surround sound. We added all this fake brick. We painted everything black to give it that feel. It came out so great, perfect size for a theater. And then I had my friend Nate make the best door ever. This door is enormous. Completely shut you out. It is a big piece. He brought it all the way from California to install here.
So we don't use the theater as much as we'd like to, but when we do, it's a nice place to watch a movie.
Yep. So we bought the house for a few reasons. Number one, it's in the area we wanted to live in. the size was good enough for us at the time. Now we're kind of outgrowing it with kids. But there was one big reason that I bought this over everything else, and it's what I'm about to show you in the back. I love the indoor-outdoor, and these things have become one of my favorite pieces of furniture.
That I picked and bought.
Yep.
Just so everybody knows. I got these chairs on hayneedle.com. They're actually super inexpensive, and the funny thing is egg chairs are actually really uncomfortable, but for some reason I got lucky and these have become the most comfortable chairs I would say that we have.
One thing that you may notice is that most of her chairs in there are all circular. Those white chairs I don't like, the dining chairs, these chairs, because I like the modern look. I like straight lines, square, that's my style. But I will admit these chairs are comfy being circular.
You notice how he reluctantly admits when I'm right. You're not wrong many times, but when he is, he doesn't like to give me credit.
You know, I will put my pride down and admit defeat when I'm defeated. So I'm gonna show you the rest of the backyard, but just know that when we bought this, there was nothing back here. It was just all dirt. So everything you're about to see was stuff that I designed from scratch because I just knew exactly what I wanted in a backyard.
I will say, and I'm gonna give him credit, he actually designed the entire backyard. I did a couple of things, but you did the architectural work, you drew up exactly how you wanted it, and it turned out good, so good job.
Thank you. So let's check it out. So this was the most important part to us, was getting a really big pool, and I love how ours turned out. Obviously it looked a lot better before we had this big old pool fence, but now that we have kids, we don't have much of a choice.
Wouldn't that be funny?
So the pool is super long, it's super wide. You've got this little bench area on the deep end. I like that it's actually deep. You could jump into it and not break your foot. All these new pools are being built really shallow, and I don't like that. And then over there in the shallow end, you've got the sun bed across the whole pool. It's really cool to just lay out on there. And then over here, you've got the raised jacuzzi.
If you want to know where Ryan spends 90% of his nights, it's right here.
Yeah, I love coming home and then just putting the kids to bed, coming in the jacuzzi and just chilling. I don't know if it's gonna look as big on camera, but when you sit in it, you're like, this is huge.
Yeah, I can fit like, what, 12 people or something like that?
Yeah. So I did make one mistake, guys. Ironically, we're standing in what used to be a sunken fire pit. And you're like, what? When I make a mistake, I fix it. So this fire pit was all the way here, it was like sunken 5 feet. There was no rails, nothing. We had a party one time, and then a kid all of a sudden just took a tip, fell in the fire pit, and I was like, this is a liability.
Luckily there were some cushions, but I didn't know that until after the party that he had fallen in.
Yeah, and we just never even used the fire pit anyway, so it made no sense to be here. So we ended up taking all this trash and stuff from one of our flips, filling the fire pit up with trash and debris, and then we just tiled over it, so.
It now became our dining area, and then we added the lights, which if you could see them at night, they're really, really beautiful.
Yep.
And when the weather's not scorching hot, if you can tell we're sweating.
Yeah, it's hot.
You know, it's a really, really nice place to come out and eat.
So this covered patio is another one of my favorite parts. We've got the big sectional. We use this hibachi grill all the time. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll see I like to cook a ton of meat all at once. And I love how the design came out. We picked this tile. This tile kind of matches the fireplace inside. You can come out here, watch the game, and it's just a really cool spot to hang out.
So I just wanted a little lounge area, somewhere that we can tan or just hang out. I used to come out here all the time with James and just sit when he was a baby. These lounge chairs are from Pottery Barn, I believe. White was probably not the best choice for cushions because they're super dirty, but they're outdoor cushions, so we don't really care.
We have all of these pine trees right here. This is a sad story, but I wanted to get rid of all of them because they're hanging over and then they're getting in our pool and is making the pool dirty all the time. So I go and meet our neighbor who's lived here for like 40 years.
They're super sweet old couple.
Yep, and so they were the only one here 40 years ago. And she had told us that the whole perimeter of her acre property had these pine trees. And then one 4th of July, somebody lit a firework and they all caught on fire and burnt down.
Except for these.
And these are all that remains.
Yeah.
You know, I felt bad about it, but at the same time, I'm like, there's so many freaking branches hanging over and getting in our pool. Like we gotta figure out something. We ended up cutting some of the branches, you can kind of see, but we've maintained it and allowed them to keep it, even though they kind of hang over our yard.
Because they're sentimental to them, and we just don't want to. I mean, it's such a sad story that, you know, we want to make sure that they're happy too.
They're nice. I mean, they provide shade too, so it's not like they're all bad, but they definitely require a lot of cleanup. So probably the biggest reason why I wanted this property so bad was because we're on a half acre. You already saw all the stuff we had on the pool and everything over there, but this grass area I just really love. We've got a bunch of different fruit trees. They don't really grow too much fruit, but they are fruit trees.
We have 2 lemons.
We have 2 lemons.
We have 2 lemons growing.
We have 2 lemons, but we have a really big yard of grass that looks great.
That we can't use, sadly. I wanted a lot of grass so that James can run around, but the dogs have taken over, and
this is really just a litter box.
it's nasty.
Yeah, but it looks good. But here's the real reason I love this lot, and it's right here at my basketball court. And let me tell you, I saw so many houses that have a basketball court, and it's just the free throw line. There's no three-pointer, there's no side. Like, you can't even practice any other shot other than a free throw.
It's probably one of his biggest pet peeves when we see a house that doesn't have a regulation size court.
Yeah, and I'll see it on like a $2 million home, and I'm like, why did you even put that in? What was the point? You could have put something far better than a free throw line. Yeah. So I said, if I'm ever gonna put a court in, it better be regulation. I better get the sidelines, everything. And so we accomplished that.
We accomplished this court after about 4 times of painting it. Lots of money put into this court.
Yeah, that was a big mistake. So I ended up painting it thinking that we could buy one of those kits online where you can spray paint the lines yourself. No, guys, if you're thinking of doing that, don't do it. It's not worth it.
Well, then a different company came and painted it, and then it started bubbling and peeling everywhere.
And they said that it was because we had already painted it, so it couldn't stick properly. So finally, we had to get the actual tiles because the paint wasn't gonna stick, and it looks beautiful. It's still to be determined whether I prefer playing on this versus the actual, you know, hard surface, but I love how it looks. And on top of that, we got to put the Future Flipper logo, which pretty much allows me to write this whole court off because it's a marketing thing. You're watching this, right? So it's marketing. Here's one other mess up I made too. So this looks great. I love the design and how it just separates the different areas, but it's way too close to the court. So while we're playing, you know, we'll be making a layup or something, and then all of a sudden, I've slipped on this thing many of times. But no, this court's gonna be really good. James, as he gets older, I'm sure he's gonna love to ride his bike around here and do different things.
Or we might not be here when he rides his bike.
Yeah, we might be in a new house by then.
We hope you enjoyed our house tour. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure to tune in to the Ryan and Mindy Show on Sundays.
And if you haven't already, make sure you go hit the like button, go subscribe to the channel, and go follow us both on social media, and get up on out of here.